The Wolfman. Welcome. I never realized this before. This house. We have so many bugs here in Florida when it's bug season, which is almost all the time. But no, it's basically summer now. You've got you can hear them banging into the window. You can hear like this little tap, like dumb bugs, like bang, bam. Like okay, hit your head a little harder, man. Knock yourself out. Oh man. Let's continue on the last T-35. I just got to remember where the hell I left off at. I think I was doing the black on this one. We didn't quite finish the black on this one. Mm. I'm really surprised that I like this dark tone significantly more than the Agrax Earthshade. Not the Agrax Earthshade, than the Nanonol oil. Like a lot. No, the container, applying it that way is a heck of a lot better than trying to scoop something and not fall for those Games Workshop tricks. Where this knocked the whole thing down. You don't have a bank. Oh no, it's a Thursday. That'd be stupid to have a bank holiday on a Thursday. Well, my daughter is back from the continent of strikes. Don't have a lot to do with this. Bank holiday is coming Monday. You people in your 35-hour work week, I'm telling you. Monday, what the hell's Monday? Oh, we're off Monday. Yes, it's not a bank holiday. It's like the only one of the only few days we have off for work and don't have to take a vacation day for it. Memorial Day. Yeah. What do you guys get off for that? And don't get me wrong, I make fun of you, but I think, man, working 4 days and having three off would be the way to do it. We call that 4 10s here, 4 10-hour days. Man, that messed me up staying up until midnight one night. I'm still tired. Are you too old for that shit? No, it's just not worth it. worth it. Yeah, this has actually made the blacklining experience better. Is this liquid that's has more pigment in it? It sure seems like it. Sure seems like it's got more pigment than the Nuln Oil. Okay, we've done all the other ones, right? I think we have. So I think the next thing, let me take a look. We're good there. I know the sides are good there. We retrofitted these little pieces. That worked out well. Let's put a little bit here. You know, the one holiday that you guys have that I don't know what the hell it is, and I've looked it up on at least 5 occasions, read it, kind of understood it, or maybe even understood it. Forget about it a year later, don't remember what the hell it's about, read about it later, kind of understand it, put it away, think about it a year and a half later, forget what the hell it was, have to look it up again, is Boxing Day. The fuck is Boxing Day? You know, Boxing Day should be like, in this corner. Every year, every other year, I look up what it is. It is so damn hard to remember. It's like the War of 1812. What's this shit again? I know I could go look it up right now, but so what do you do with Kwanzaa? You celebrate Kwanzaa on Boxing Day too? Kwanzaa didn't exist when I was a kid, or maybe it did, but around these little guys, and then we can move to the dry brush. I'm ready to be done with these bastards. Not because I'm tired of working on them. I'm ready to move on to something else. Did we go around this? Looks like we may have. Good morning. We've been saved by the white man. I don't think I've ever heard somebody be offended by being called white. Like, man, why we gotta be white? Boring ass color. So I was looking up the other day something about the Mongols. I think I mentioned this. Something about the Mongols. And the term Mongoloid came up in there. And then I started looking at Mongoloid. I'm like, man, I haven't heard that in a long time. You know? Where they had the three race things. I mean, I've heard of that thing before. And how that's an outdated term. And then I'm reading this article. It says modern scientists have what do you call? They've gone away from including race and things, which I agree with. But they still make you fill it out in forms. You know? They shouldn't put race, they should put ethnicities. White is peaceful until you're painting it. Is it? One thing I dislike white in is vehicles. As a general rule, white vehicles are just, I don't know what color I'll have. You know, it's kind of like the color of, I'll just have a salad. I'll just have the car in white. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go with white. It's got no personality. I guess some people would say the same thing about my preferred color choice of vehicle, which is silver. No, I would say silver goes with everything. So, yeah. You don't like my silver car? Get the hell out of it. And now there's a trend. I guess there wasn't this trend in the 1970s, but I don't remember the 1970s. Well, there's this trend of these cars trying to make a comeback with cars that are like a really weird, popular new. It's not as popular, but they're kind of trying to cram this color down our throat, and I see it all the time. Is this non-metallic putty gloss color? It looks like it's ugly. It looks like this, which is a fine color, but not for a freaking car. It's like dark sea gray. Yeah, and it's not metallic. And it's weird to have a vehicle. It doesn't have metallic flakes in it. It's just really, really odd. Like, what are you trying to do there? Because it's not working. We'll put some of these pieces away. We're not going to need Sovietsky green again. We are going to need this. Here's Iraqi sand, right? Not going to need dark sand. We are going to need the fumbles. I do all my own stunts. We don't need red. White, yeah. I'll just have a white car. I don't know what color. White. Now, where is a dry brush that can be counted on? White is peaceful. Well, you shouldn't call white people peaceful, because how the hell do white people conquer everything not being peaceful? Oh, man. Something here hurts. I don't know what it is. Almost feels like a bug bite. Weird. It's the first sign of arthritis. I don't know. Is arthritis so bad that it would keep me from painting? I hope not. One of the few joys I have left in this life. We're just going to add U.S. Field Drab on here. What do you think about aircraft, Barnes? Do you do any aircraft? Do you care about them? You don't? I'm starting to think I should have gone to the RAF Museum instead of the Imperial War Museum. Imperial War Museum was a bit lame. The World War One section was good, but the World War Two section was lame. I expected it to be more than that. Boy, this got clogged up fast. I got a level of control with this that I wouldn't have with an airbrush. And the problem with an airbrush for me is, and I've gotten better with it, is just the trigger control is all or nothing. You know, it's like if you got a sports car and you only have two gears, first and sixth. You know, and it's just like, all right, we have a little bit coming out. I want a little bit, just a tiniest little bit more paint, and then you move it half of a millimeter instead of a third of a millimeter, and then you get too much paint that comes out. Now, I've gotten better at it, but it's really, it's difficult. I say it's practice, but man, it is a long road. I'm gonna switch out of this one. Let's get one that doesn't have all the paint impregnation on it. A rudimentary little holder works okay. I gotta at some point decide what I'm gonna do with those trucks, with those British trucks. I'll probably end up building the other one before I decide what I'm gonna do with the one. Bedford, what the hell is it? It's the name escapes me. The big prime mover trucks. It's a good looking truck. I didn't think it was until I built one. It's an attractive looking truck. I mean, sure, it's got a flat front on it. I think that's enough of this. But man, they took a long time to put together those little trucks. You got to clean a lot of the stuff in the Airfix. A lot of the Airfix models have a lot of flash, a lot of overpour, a lot of plastics that wanted to come out of the mold. Hey, what the hell's that thing called? Matador. Matador. Oh wow, these things ever come out? They used to package them like this? Like just in a bag? Like, got like a crimp top stapled on there, and then you got this bag, and off you go then. Go build it. Wow. I've never seen that before. Now, that vehicle actually has a fair amount of detail. I was surprised. Now I got another one to build, so I'm not making one for Northwest Europe and one for Italy or one for North Africa, or they're both going to be the same thing. And I got the British color for Italy, whatever the hell it's called, khaki something or another. I haven't used it yet. I might do my that Daimler armored car in that. Is it this one? Khaki green. This is, I think, one of the colors. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Airfax, yes, Airfix in a bag. Yeah, they probably shifted away from that just for you can have a lot of broken parts and shipping. You know, they don't have any resistance to them, and you got a couple bags that are just banging into each other. And I don't really care that they're 176th and some of my stuff is 172nd. Hell, these are 187th. These look just fine together with the other stuff. There's parts of this process of doing this that I really enjoy. This is one of them. I'm enjoying the weathering a lot because even if I wanted to make them look exactly the same, I can't. I'm weathering them ever, different. I'm weathering them equivalent to each other, but different. Okay, we did the light color there. We didn't do it on this side. Yeah, it was a thing until very late 70s, at least. For Series 1, if you recall. I want to say, and I keep having maybe an incorrect recollection of this, but the first Panther I ever built, and I am a Panther fan. It's an attractive tank. I remember when I was growing up, almost everybody would agree that Panther was the best tank of World War II. Well, if its suspension didn't catch fucking fire, or, if it didn't break down when you wanted to move it, if it didn't have reliability issues, yeah, Panther would be a great tank, but it had reliability issues. But when I was building that first Panther tank, I think I was 13 years old, and I think it came in a bag like that with the top crimped. And I want to say it was pre-Eschi. Some of those Eschi things I think were made by Aurora. And the hull, it had been in a bag, and I guess it had been somewhere hot. Because the bottom plate was one piece, and the sides were two other pieces. The sides that all the inner 11 road wheels are going to get attached to. And the sides were curved. So in other words, you put the piece straight, and it was shaped like a canoe. I'm 13 years old. I can't deal with that. I don't know about rubber band and patience and none of that stuff. So let's just say I never finished it. because the hole was fucked up, you know. But I'm pretty sure it came in a bag like that. I don't think it came in a box. But I could deal with that now. I mean, that wouldn't be an issue anymore. The other thing that helps is I've got a lot of tools, I've got a lot of patience, and I have a lot of things to work on. So if I have one model and it's a Panther tank and I'm fighting with it and I have to somehow rubber band it and hold it in place until it dries, I'm sitting around with nothing to do while that happens, right? Not like, fine, I'll go work on something else while that's curing, so to speak. Oh, is this not pre? No. Okay. That's the one the peg got stuck in there and broke. No biggie. I'm surprised that, all things considering, this thing has more hatches than most tanks do. And what I mean by that is, it's a 10-man crew. So you've got, in the turret, you got 3 people. You got the commander, you got the loader, and you have the gunner. And there's 2 hatches. That's as good as it's going to get. All the 245 millimeter turrets have a loader and a gunner. And they each have a hatch. That's 4 and 5, 6 and 7. The 2 machine gun turrets each have a hatch each, and they're 1-man turrets. That's 8 and 9. And then the driver has his own hatch. Actually, he has his own hatch here, which may not be able to be opened if this guy's got a turret pointed in the wrong direction. So that's pretty state of the art, considering this is archaic. That's pretty good, actually. It's almost like they don't want their crew to die in the first battle. You spent the last day struggling with cheap foreign drills and battling with my best pin vise, whose knurling has virtually worn away my damn tools. Yeah, so you got to be careful buying some of that stuff. I've bought some of those. Well, you say foreign, I say Chinese. It's not like you got a bunch of Pakistani drills that are no good. It's these damn Chinese drills. And not everything made in China is a piece of crap. But many things are. And let me get a little bit of black here and do all the little black touch-ups. And I have a set of those and really small drill bits. And when you look at them close, which I look at everything close now because of being nearsighted and basically painting in nearsightedom, you look at it and it's flat. It's literally a piece of metal that is flat. It has no, you know what I mean? It has no it doesn't have anything for it to start getting a bite on it. It's like, all right, here's your drill. All right, let's drill into something. If you're drilling into white metal, God help you, You got some German drills and they're utter garbage. Yeah. The myth of German precision. Hey, you can't drill in like this, okay? It's you're just doing, it kind of works with plastic, but yeah. I know what you mean there. And that's the problem when you gotta buy things sight unseen. If that thing is in a store and you could see it, you could look at it and go, this isn't gonna work. You don't buy it, but if you mail order it, congratulations, it's yours. The myth of German precision. The worst decals out there are German. Well, there might be worse decals than Pettinghouse, but I have not run across them. Pettinghouse decals are terrible. German. Germany built better things when they had a Kaiser. No quality control. Yeah, I've got probably 12 drill bits. I think I threw them away. Like it came like 30. Half of them, easily half of them are like, these don't work. Send them to America. Send them to America. In this stuff we're doing, we don't need an Exacto. We don't need a Dremel gun, a Dremel tool. It spins too fast. Spins way too fast. That's the problem with buying sight unseen. That's why I don't want to buy brushes sight unseen. These are cheap brushes, but at least I look at them, so at least half of them are good, or at least they're initially shaped correctly. Like look at this. This thing's all like trying to paint around a corner. Bullshit. So we use it for duties that might not make it last as long as I would if I was babying it. That's it, right? I think that's all the black parts on there. Yeah, I don't like buying things sight unseen, but stores don't have things anymore. It's like the catch anything. Well, stores don't. They, people don't buy things in stores. They mail order them, so stores don't carry stuff. Well, if stores don't carry stuff, how are people going to buy them in person? That's changed. Actually, the thing that's changed a lot in my limited lifetime is people that work at stores. People that work at stores, like if I talk to somebody that works at a store, I'm going to get dumber by the time I leave the store. Like they have a negative IQ. And it's not that you got to be stupid, but it's like, when you used to work at a retail store in the 1980s, not everybody, but many people gave a shit, right? Many people gave a shit and realized they didn't have this phone that they could just surf on all day long while they pretended to be working. So they go and actually help the customer. Hey, where's this at? Now it's like you go to a store, like a big box. I hate going to the big box hardware store. I hate going there. You go in there. Where's this? I don't know. I just work here. Well, hold on a second. You customer, yes. Do you know where this is? No, I'm just a customer. Well, if the customer doesn't know and the person that doesn't work there, like who are you going to ask? Like one thing that would be really handy if you went to a big store is if there was an app. Like you went to their not even an app, go to their website, enter half-inch screws. Oh, they're on aisle B6. So you find it. But no, they don't do that. They don't do that. At least get you close. I mean, it doesn't have to take me right to it, but at least let me go to the same freaking aisle. Brushes, yeah. Yeah, I would never buy. People sung the sung the praises of Windsor and Newton brushes all the time. I don't doubt that I would enjoy them, but they're $20 a piece, And I can't go to a store and see what they're like before I order them. So why would I do that? And these work just fine. And they're 60 cents a piece. I think it's stressful when you buy things that are really expensive or they're rather expensive and you have to take care of them. And I'm not saying that I trash things, but stuff happens. Like one of those fancy watches that people have, those iWatches or whatever. I'll never have one of those. They're too expensive. I don't need one anyways. And just in living your life, you put a scratch on it without wanting to. Then you got to look at a scratch on a $400 watch or however much they cost. Like that's just gonna That's just gonna eat at me. Or expensive sunglasses that you're gonna lose without wanting to. Yeah, let's take you out of the equation here. Maybe a little bit more. And then we've got this piece of track back here. And then we can start working on Tony's tones. And then we're going to grab this color that I got all uppity with me the other day. Iron Warriors. The wanker color Iron Warriors. It's this container. We try not opening this. Just putting a little bit of it here and closing this thing back. Yeah, I had a near disaster last time I got this. I ended up opening it and somehow I got like a, a, a glob of paint and didn't know it. And I ended up touching a couple things and I had to go clean those things up. Like, really? I don't dislike their paint at all. And I had read an article where somebody had taken these extra bottles, they bought extra bottles of these Vallejo things, and then poured them, their Games Workshop. I did that one time with one of my metallics, and I'm not doing it again. It created so much of a, I had to add so much thinner in it to get the paint out that it ended up making the paint really watery. And then it was like a mess. You know, it was like every time it just dribbled everywhere. And of course I forgot this one because it wasn't on the tank. Damn you. Where is there we go. So I'm not doing that again. All right, now let's put this away. Tone time. I'm gonna get a new one. I'm worth it. Or at least, really, what was in this? Well, just water. Had some spew out from the side while shaking it a few days ago. Yeah, it's, the thing is I'm not a naturally klutzy person. Like, I don't have accidents that happen, especially while I'm painting, right? Like, I don't get paint on myself. I don't get paint everywhere. And so when it does happen, it's like, what's this about? But I'm really liking this war paints, although it's less common than Vallejo now. It's harder to find, oddly enough. But these bottles, these Games Workshop paint bottles, were a lot better than anything else when I got them. Because Vallejo wasn't around anymore. Wasn't around back then. So your alternative is have like a floqual type bottle opening or a testers, and those are terrible. The glass bottle with the crimp top with that little paper condom on it that isn't worth a damn. I did buy a tin one time when I painted my first Firefly. I wanted to get that khaki drab color or whatever it's called. British Racing Northwest Europe 1944 color. And I said, I'll order this. And even though I wasn't doing enamels, so I painted it enamels. And that bloody little pot is a pain to open and close. Your local store is moving to larger premises a lot closer to me. They must be doing well. That's good. You know, hobby stores have a hard time enough making it with competing with things online. And then you double that with the fact that a lot of people just are never going to go into the store. You know, it's just one of those things that's kind of a niche thing. There was a big chain that almost every major town had them. And this place was called Joann Fabrics. And it didn't just have fabric, they had stuff that us modelers could use as well. It wasn't a great store, but it had some stuff that we could, do. Well, they all went out of business, or they were putting this out of business sale. But you just think, there's every time I went in there, I was looked at funny, like, what's some straight white dude coming into this place? Actually, some straight dude. It doesn't really matter what color my skin is. It's like men don't go into a fabric store. This place carries virtually all paint ranges, including AK. Yeah, I want to use stuff that's easily sourced locally because if I need more of it, I don't want to get used to using something that I gotta have shipped in. Wow, that's good. Are there any paint brands that you're not fond of? That you're like, nah, I don't care if you carried this, I wouldn't buy it. Anything come to mind that you're like, I'd rather not mess with this? Only thing I can think of is I don't want to do those contrast paints. I don't know what they are. They're not for me. But these little things are great. These what they call a wash, they're great. They thin with water and they thin with water really well. They don't like separate with water. They become one with the water really well. Almost like thick watercolors. Really a pleasant experience all in all, really. Scale 75, except their metallics, which are excellent. There's one of those brands I just read about today, and it might be Scale 75, that this person said that they were really difficult to use because they were more gel-like. I don't know what they are. They've never had them here. But there's other paints that I've used that even if they made them again, I wouldn't use them again. Howard Hughes, there's a company called Howard Hughes, and their stuff was almost like a thick pastel. Um, their opening and closing on their pots was not good. I didn't mind the paint, But the opening, you can tell I don't have any of those that survive. You know, paint that's like 40 years old and I still have it and it's alive. You know the design of the pot was good. Got old Games Workshop original stuff. You know, almost all the Vallejos I have are pretty old. Yeah, I've never seen Skill 75. The strangest one I've seen, odd brand things in a store, is Mission Models. I think they're from California. I've got one bottle of it that Joel gave me. He said he couldn't get on with it. And it's okay. I mean, this thing, I think it's from California. Burbank. Yep. Permanent water-based paint works on plastic, resin, and metal. It's a little on the watery side. But I love these things. Coat the arms. I love coat the arms. I wouldn't want to paint a whole tank in it, but like figures, yeah. But nowhere here to get coat the arms. I was using their wood brown for a long time for the rifle butts. I think that's what it's called. Well, we're going to have to leave, unfortunately. Yeah, we haven't done the drippings on the other side, but looking pretty good. All right, folks. Well, thanks for stopping